When it comes to gaming icons, Pac-Man is a name that needs no introduction. But by the late 1980s, even the yellow dot muncher had to evolve to keep up with the rapidly advancing gaming industry. Enter Pac-Mania, a bold reimagining of the classic arcade formula that brought a new perspective, literally, to the beloved franchise. Pac-Mania debuted in arcades in 1987, developed and published by Namco. Designed to refresh the Pac-Man formula, it introduced an isometric, pseudo-3D perspective, giving players a new way to navigate the classic maze gameplay. The game retained its simple yet addictive mechanics while incorporating new features to appeal to both newcomers and veteran fans. The arcade version was a hit, praised for its fresh visual style, catchy soundtrack, and new gameplay mechanics. Its success led to ports across numerous platforms, including the NES, Sega Genesis, and Commodore 64. The NES port, handled by Tengen, faced significant challenges in translating the arcade game's vibrant visuals and smooth gameplay onto an 8-bit console. The isometric perspective and colorful mazes were toned down to accommodate the NES's hardware limitations, but the core gameplay remained intact. Despite these compromises, Pac-Mania for the NES captured the spirit of the arcade original and offered a fresh twist on the classic Pac-Man formula. The story remains simple, staying true to its arcade roots. Once again, Pac-Man is tasked with gobbling up pellets in various mazes while avoiding his ever-persistent ghostly foes, Blinky, Pinky, Inky, and Clyde. The game doesn't delve deeply into narrative, but it doesn't need to. Its focus is on fast-paced, engaging gameplay. One of the standout features is its isometric view. Unlike the top-down perspective of the original Pac-Man, this game gives players a pseudo-3D view of the maze. This fresh perspective not only modernized the visuals, but also added a new layer of depth to the gameplay, making it feel more dynamic. The most significant gameplay addition is Pac-Man's ability to jump. This mechanic allows players to evade ghosts more effectively, adding a strategic element to the classic chase. However, players must time their jumps carefully, as some ghosts, like the new addition, Funky, can jump as well, keeping the challenge alive. Unlike the original Pac-Man, which featured a single repeating maze, this game offers multiple unique mazes, each with its own theme and layout. From Blocktown to Sandbox Land, the variety in maze design keeps the gameplay fresh and exciting. Power pellets make their return, allowing Pac-Man to turn the tables on the ghosts temporarily. The game also introduces more bonus items, rewarding players with points and encouraging exploration of the mazes. As players progress through the game, the mazes become more complex and the ghosts become faster and smarter. The addition of jumping ghosts like Funky and Spunky adds an extra layer of difficulty, making later levels a real test of skill. The isometric perspective was inspired by the 3D graphics trend of the mid to late 1980s. Namco wanted to update Pac-Man's visuals to keep pace with other arcade games of the era, such as Marble Madness and Cabertao. The NES port of Pac-Mania was published by Tengen, a company known for producing unlicensed NES cartridges. This version of the game is one of Tengen's more polished releases, standing out for its faithful adaptation of the arcade gameplay. Pac-Man's iconic character design and the Pac-Mania mazes have made cameo appearances in other Namco titles, showcasing the game's lasting legacy within the franchise. The introduction of jumping ghosts was a game-changer for the Pac-Man series. Funky and Spunky added a new layer of challenge, forcing players to think ahead and use Pac-Man's jumping ability more strategically. While the NES version of Pac-Mania didn't capture the full graphical splendor of the arcade original, it was praised for retaining the core gameplay and introducing a fresh perspective to the series. Over the years, it has become a cult favorite among fans of retro gaming. Pac-Mania for the NES may not have been a perfect replica of its arcade counterpart, but it succeeded in bringing a fresh twist to one of gaming's most beloved franchises. Its isometric visuals, jumping mechanic, and varied mazes offered a new challenge for fans of the original Pac-Man, cementing its place as a memorable entry in the series. Did you play Pac-Mania on the NES or in arcades? Share your memories in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more deep dives into gaming history. Thanks for watching!